Sandy Says Read. Welcome to the channel. This evening we are going to do a review and discussion of Reckoning Day by Steven L. Shrewsbury. And before we begin, I'm going to get a little bit of housekeeping out of the way. I want to encourage you to subscribe to the channel. And not just subscribe, but tell someone else. Tell someone else you know who likes reading and book reviews and booktube tags and all that kind of fun stuff to subscribe as well. Please and thank you. Well, see, I have a goal, you guys. I have a goal to get up to 1,000 subscribers this year. I know, that's a lofty goal, but that's the goal. The goal is to get 1,000 subscribers this year so I can finally monetize this channel. We'll see how it goes. Y'all can help me with that. Okay, housekeeping is over. Let's talk about this novel by Steven. This is Reckoning Day, a Gorias LaGaul novel by Steven L. Shrewsbury. It was published in 2022 by Seventh Star Press. Now, I read the Kindle version on my laptop, which was about 6,000 pages. But if you get the paperback version is 502 pages. Let's see, I've got the cover for you. I put it here on the phone so that y'all could see it. All right, here we go. Da-da! Look at that fabulous dragon. I'm going to get the glare off of it. Look at that dragon. Is that amazing? That is a water dragon. That's cool, right? I know. Look at the detail. Can I get it better for you? I know there's going to be a glare, but look at the detail in that thing's teeth. Yeah, that's pretty awesome. Okay, and I have turned off the I've turned off the ringer on the phone, so hopefully you guys won't be regaled with Duran Duran in the middle of this. Okay, that cover art is by Graham Ganson. And let's see, did I tell you it's written in third person past tense? There we go. It begins with an awesome Robert E. Howard quote from his story Hour of the Dragon. There's another Howard quote at the end as well, but that first one there at the beginning, it sets a tone. It sets a very nice tone for our story because this is it's an epic fantasy, like barbarian war and mischief and people stabbing each other in the back as they fight to see who can have the crown, that kind of story, right? So yeah, the Howard quote at the beginning from Hour of the Dragon, nice. I'm going to read you what's on the back cover, which I put in my notes so I wouldn't have to be reading off the screen. All right, here we go. Is there something worse than dying? Though legendary mercenary Gorias LaGaul has toppled the king of Albion, knives are at his back as he serves as regent over the boy king of neighboring Transalpina. Gorias, who is content that the dire queen of the Prytons has fallen along with the pervert Albion king, falls for a horse trainer from the displaced lands. As the unlikely relationship grows, forces rise against him on either side of the channel. While selfish usurpers plot, a more Stygian enemy lurks, using wizards of each land. He's a figure who has wanted Gorias since birth. Gorias must balance against these powers and preserve the life of the heir to the throne. Other threats soon manifest as a wizardess prepares to unleash a dire act of revenge, and even a dragon made of water. In a tale of action, adventure, love, sacrifice, and war, Gorias staggers through a bloody trail that will tear his heart loose. Can Gorias combat these deadly forces and stand tall against an archdemon on what will truly be his reckoning day? Yeah, the archdemon is Asmodeus. And Asmodeus is a character that a couple of our bad guys like pray to and try to use for their own selfish gain. And as we know, never set deals with demons because demons have got their own plan to put in motion. Okay, so let's talk first about the characters in the story, because I think as I talk about the characters, I can tell you some of the plot that's taking place, because I don't want to give away too much. I don't want to spoil big things that happen. I certainly don't want to spoil the ending. I don't want to spoil things because I would like for you guys to read this story. It is it is a battle-heavy war story. There is intrigue, there is romance, there are moments of humor in here, but it is a war story. It is battle heavy, and there's strong language, there's strong characters. Okay, so if you're used to reading fantasy romance with some war, no, this is war, this is battle, this is demons and baddies doing bad, evil things. There's heavy stuff in here, okay? But it's so intricately put together that it's amazing. There you go. Okay, so let's talk about some of these characters, okay, and work our way through. First of all, Gorias, obviously our main character. He's about 600 years old. He's this like battle-worn warrior who can do just about anything. I mean, he's able to murder at will, and he's allowed to, and he's hired to murder at will. Recently, he's been hired to take care of this 10-year-old boy king. This kid is next in line for the throne, and he needs to be protected because he's only 10. So Gorias is the one who's been asked to protect him because he is able to. The story is about Gorias, so there is so much to say about him and to talk about him. So let me talk about some of the other characters, and maybe more of Gorias will come through as I talk about the other characters. Because basically he's a man of legend and of fable. Bards tell stories about him, right? So everywhere he goes, he is known and feared. And when he steps into a scene or a situation, if a bad guy is there, the bad guy is going to be like, oh crap, my days are numbered. I should leave, right? So, I mean, that's the kind of reputation this guy has. He also has a horse. His horse is named Traveler. And Traveler is just as storied as he is, okay? And in one of the first scenes in the book, I'm going to tell you, Traveler dies. And I was stunned by this. I'm like, wait a minute, his horse is dying? What the hell? Well, yeah, Traveler dies in one of the opening scenes. But as Gorias and his General Thinnis are going across this iced over river, the river is cracking and the ice is giving way, and they're getting across, and there's a woman there, and she helps get General Thinnis off, the ice. She is a horse trainer, and she has a ranch nearby, and she gets them to safety there. And there is a horse that has recently come to her ranch who looks a lot like Traveler did. And in fact, I believe, it doesn't say this in the text, but I believe this horse is a reincarnated version of Traveler. And they do surmise that he must be from Traveler's bloodline because he looks so much like Traveler. He is of that size and of that bearing. And in fact, this new horse, who they named Traveler, he's able to do things, and he is smart. This is a smart horse. And in fact, he helps the boy king at some point in the story, which is wonderful. I thought that was amazing. I mean, this little boy king, he's being precocious, and he wants to sneak out of the castle, right? This is much further in the book. Okay, he wants to sneak out of the castle, and he goes into the stables, and there's Traveler, and he's like, ooh, I could pretend to ride Traveler. And Traveler like nudges the saddlebags, like, here, get the saddlebags, kid, put these on me. And so the kid, puts the saddlebags on him, puts the saddle on him, puts a bridle on him, and gets on Traveler, and Traveler's like, we're out of here. And off they go. Well, Traveler's getting him away from danger. And Traveler takes off like a bullet, right? I mean, he's like an arrow. There's no bullets in this fantasy world. But takes off like an arrow, right? And gets him out of there, gets him out of danger. And after a while, the kid realizes, oh, wait, Traveler's protecting me. And in fact, he was, because this horse is smart. Smart horse. I enjoyed the character of Traveler very much. Okay, so back to Gorias. He has armor made from dragon skin, one of the dragons that he has vanquished in the past, and that's important. Hang on to that thought. He also has characters around him who are good guys, sort of mentor-like, good friends, good companions, okay? And I had like serious worry for some of those companions during the book, throughout the book, because the bad guys were so bad and came up with such plots to get in and try to get the boy king and try to kill, murder, and do mayhem, right? And so I worried for General Thinnis. He's this fellow who's an older guy, an older gentleman. And I worried for him, when he had to stay behind during one part of the book. He had to stay behind at the castle, and he's there with the boy king, and he's hiding the boy king. And I worried for him. Steven did such a nice job of, putting suspense in one scene and then building on that suspense and then building on that suspense and building on that some more, that I worried for some of these characters that you would think maybe they have plot armor. Not necessarily. No, just because a character is a good guy doesn't mean they have plot armor, doesn't mean they're protected. Which, as an author myself, I like that. Okay, all right, so another character, Syrian. Syrian is the horse trainer that we meet there at the river toward the beginning of the book when Gorias and the general are going across the ice. She is there, and she helps get the general off to the shore. And she has this ranch, and she trains horses, and she has a helper there at her ranch named Liza. And they help Gorias and Thenis when bad guys attack there. Gorias is like, all right, we got to get out of here. Let's go. And she's like, oh, don't leave without my handmaiden, Liza. And Gorias is like, can't she take care of herself? Isn't she like an herbal, witch kind of woman? And, Syrian is like, no, please, Liza's a friend of mine. We need to bring her. Liza, boy, she's one of those characters that you look at askance, right? You look at her like, is she a good guy, really? Or is she conniving? And so I really liked the way Steven painted her and worked with her through the story. Nicely done. But Syrian is a love interest for Gorias, this 600-year-old battle-scarred warrior who does not wish to have a love interest, finds himself drawn to this horse trainer woman, finds himself looking at her like, wow, you're interesting to me. And they hit it off very well. And the horse trainer woman, Syrian, is like, you're different from the stories. I mean, you're interesting to me too. And so they end up building a friendship, and that friendship blossoms, and the people around them, like at the castle and around the kingdom, are teasing them about it and nudging them on to be more than friends. And of course they become more than friends. And so that romance is sort of underneath the storyline as well. So that was nice. Then what else do we have? We have a young man named Jason. Jason is General Thenis's son. And Jason, bless his heart, he's an idiot. I'm just going to say it. Jason is a moron, but he tries his best. He goes off to, a neighboring land to get some information and ends up falling for a wizardess in the neighboring land. I don't know if so much falling for her or just falling in lust with her, right? I don't know how we would phrase that exactly, but he's thinking with his pants, okay? And the wizardess he falls for is Dara. And Dara is a problematic lunatic. This chick, holy cow, this woman is insane with thoughts of revenge. She wants vengeance, and she's got a list of people that she wants vengeance against. And we see her first as a serving girl, and then we see her do something awful to get some power, to grow quickly, to add years to her life, to become an older teen girl. Then she's talking about doing something awful to add a couple more years to her life to become a woman. I mean, she wants more and more and more, and she wants more power so that she can get this vengeance against all these people, including the king, who she's pretending to serve, right? She's awful. But she's the one who summons the dragon. So we're going to talk about the dragon. She's working with this demon we mentioned earlier, Asmodeus. She has called on him to help her. And Asmodeus is like, you got to be kidding me. You're a twerp. What? But Asmodeus has been wanting to kill Gorias for 600 years. Okay? So he's like, well, look, I can't take physical form and come at Gorias myself, so might as well use you twerp. So he's going to work with Dara a bit, and he does plan to kill her when he's done using her, because he's a demon, of course. Well, he gives her four little glass vials, and in each of those 4 vials is a little dragon. Symbol of a dragon, right? A caricature of a dragon. So she can choose which dragon she would like to use to go after Gorias. Well, 3 of these 4 dragons, Dara recognizes Gorias has already come up against and defeated. And one of those is like the blue dragon that he has his armor made out of. Okay, so she recognizes that. She's like, well, I don't want to use that one because he's already defeated that one in the past. But one of these dragons is a water dragon that she doesn't think Gorias has been up against before. And his name is Stregoikavar. I might not be pronouncing that right, but Stregoikavar is the water dragon that she selects to be her tool to go after Gorias. But more than that, to go after the people she wants vengeance against. And her thinking is Gorias can't kill the thing before she gets her vengeance. That's her design, is to use a dragon that can seek vengeance, can get her vengeance against these people before Gorias can kill it. Okay? So that's what she's going to do. So the first time we see Stregoikavar, come about or surface is in a pool. So he comes out of water because he's in water. And he's not necessarily like a dragon in some water, but he is of the water, okay? Like his form, his being, his essence is of the water. So like the molecules of the water are him. So like his eyes, his teeth, his feathers, his scales are of the water. And so he comes up out of the water. He roils up out of this swimming pool in the castle, or in the castle grounds. And he comes up Dara has called him up for a particular bad guy, a particular problematic guy that she wants to kill first. She gets that guy out of the way, and she knows, okay, now this is how I will call the dragon from now on. Great, got it. So she goes through the castle and she breaks the hinges on the doors so that they can't be closed. So she has a clear path for this dragon to go up to this great hall where many people are meeting. She has managed to get the king to bring about a convention, a conference for peace. So she is going to unleash into this convention of peace this horror, this mayhem, this death, right? It's like a great juxtaposition that Steven has set up. I liked it a lot. Okay, so Dara is setting up this evil. All these guys are meeting together in this hall because they're supposed to be discussing peace, and they're already, like gurgling and grouching at each other because Gorias is there, and half of them hate him, right? So it's a mess. There's tension and there's fussing and fighting, but there's a dragon coming, and this dragon's going to kill them all. And this dragon does just start like roiling through, coming up through the hallways, and he is like a wave of dragon. He is a water wave coming through, and as he rolls over someone, he engulfs them in himself, and they drown. Like they fill up with dragon and drown from dragon, which is just an incredible thought, right? I mean, evil and bad, but an incredible thought. So yeah, die by breathing dragon. It's just so clever. There you go. I'm not going to tell you how that ends. I'm not going to tell you who dies and who doesn't, because I want you to read it. I want you to experience it, because it is awesome and cool. It's also a little surprising who gets to live and who doesn't. I mean, obviously Gorias, he's our main guy. There's like many Gorias tales. He's probably not going to die from dragon, okay? But it's just surprising what all takes place. I encourage you to check it out yourselves. Now, as we do in these reviews, I do have a couple of scenes I wanted to read for you to give you a flavor of Steven's writing style. So did I pick out 2? Yeah, I picked out 2 for you. All right. The first one is from pages 492 and 93 when reading on a laptop. And this is, what is this? This is a wagon load of wounded is crossing the front. Oh yeah, this is near the beginning of the book, even though it's pages 492. This is near the beginning of the book when Gorias and his army, his set of mercenaries they've killed off a whole lot of the Prytons, who are bad, and their queen has sacrificed herself, and it's after the battle. A lot of them are injured. They're going in these wagons across this frozen river. I'll get the words. They're going across this frozen river, and the ice is starting to break. People are going down into the water. It's dangerous. People are dying, okay? And let's see. It says, gaining his feet at last, Gorias made a single stride toward the outstretched arm of soldiers trapped inside. The wagon dropped a few feet into the deteriorating fissure, sending founts of water into the air. Icy water showered them, raining in droplets onto the now wet surface as the river bled up through the fractures. Like blood from a stabbed hog, the water spread. Gorias cursed, wondering if his curses angered the only god up there, but figured that guy ran low on humor. Instead of helping the youth and the others, he grabbed Finis by his bad arm and flung the big man across the wet ice toward the Albion border. A couple paragraphs later, Gorias pivoted away from the wagon as the world tilted. He crawled, using his dagger and the dew nails of his dragon armor to find the purchase on the wet ice, while trying to ignore the cries from the men who went into the icy drink. "But you're a hero," accused the Albion boy, the last word of his scream gurgling on ice water. Right. Then, around 40% of the way through the book, page 2697, Gorias and Syrian are discussing, they're discussing their religion over dinner. Because, religion and politics over dinner, that's great. But really, it was interesting the way those two, they would, talk about heavy subjects and yet be light in tone, because they were just getting to know one another during the book. And here we have religion according to Gorias. Right. It's religion in a nutshell, but I don't confuse religion with faith. My religion might ask me to kill kittens and bend over to the south each day at noon, but that ain't truth. Faith is believing there is a God and understanding something better lies beyond this veil of tears. Faith is not just counting on the sun coming up in the east or believing God made it happen, but knowing he gave you common sense to not be a jackwad to the rest of humanity. And that's faith according to Gorias. That's Gorias in a nutshell right there, which I thought was real nice. That's good. You guys, thumbs up for a really great fantasy story. Great water dragon. Death by water dragon is not something I want to experience, but it's great to read. Thank you so much for tuning in. I hope that you enjoyed our discussion of Reckoning Day. I don't have the book to show you. Sorry. Reading on Kindle is not my favorite, but this one was easy to read on Kindle because I just scrolled through. I enjoyed it. You guys, thank you for tuning in. Please subscribe to the channel. Please encourage others to subscribe to the channel too. And we'll see you on the next one.